Hey guys, this is B-Duck44 here coming at you with a breakdown for the Grade 2 Toyota Bluegrass Stakes from Keeneland. We got a lot of big time stakes for the Derby 3-year-olds today. We got the Santa Anita Derby at Santa Anita Park and the Wood Memorial up at Aqueduct and the Toyota Bluegrass at Keeneland. The race we're going to be looking at here, which has got a heck of a field with a lot of new shooters and some horses we all know about. And let's take a look here at a horse I want to talk about first is Tapper. He's been coming on big time for Pletcher. He's the 4-horse, morning line 5-2. If you can get him at 5-2 in this one, I think you'll be lucky, but I see him going off at maybe 9-5. Him and McCracken's might be co-favorites coming into this race because Tapper just keeps on improving with every race. Pletcher's got this horse peaking at the right time. Just like you seen his horse last week in the Florida Derby, Always Dreaming, come out and just put that field on blast and run away with that, beating Gunnabera, which is a horse that's been hard to beat on the Derby Trail. And another horse in here, the favorite, 7-5 morning line for Ian Wilkes, McCracken. He has yet to do anything wrong. He's 4 for 4, solid. I mean, you can't really say anything bad about this horse. Just does what he does, and he's gonna be laying back, and not a lot of pace signed on in here. As you kind of look for some horses that might be on the tempo, you got Doug O'Neill's the 6-horse Irap, who's going to be ridden by Leparoux. He's been on the front end in almost every race, but seems to always fall and falter. Can't hold his speed, but he's coming out of the Grade 3 Sunland Derby where he was on the lead, just a few lengths off. And Hintz, kind of a long shot, ended up winning that race, which that race was the 26th, so a short turnaround for that horse. But you kind of see him going to the front. And then the 5 for George Arnold, Wild Shots, ridden by Landry. Another horse, his last 2 starts, it looked like he tried to lay him off. And he kind of made up some ground, but it don't look like that's what he wants to do. He seems like a front-end type who wants to go out and try to take this field wire to wire, but the mile and the eighth might not be for this horse. But he's coming out of the same preps that Tappert and McCracken were coming out of. The Tampa Bay Derby last out and the Sam F. Davis before, where he finished 4th in the Sam F. Davis behind McCracken and Tappert, where he actually had the lead coming down the stretch, but kind of faltered. That's what makes me question him going a mile and an eighth. I don't see him getting this distance. And last out in the Tampa Derby, where Tappert just kind of ran away with that thing, and he was Wild Shot really didn't run his best race, where he broke last out of the gate and could never. He made up ground, ended up finishing 3rd in a 10-horse field, but I look for him to try to be on the pace today. And the 3 for Dale Romans. Romans usually not a guy that likes to see his horse on the front end, tries to bring him off. Kind of like, I forget the horse he had in here last year, but he come from the clouds to win the Toyota last year. And J-Boy's Echo seems like a horse that could be on the front, but I don't see Romans really positioning him there. I kind of see him trying to set back. He was 4th early in the Grade 3 Gotham last out, which he won on March 4th up at Aqueduct, where there wasn't a lot of pace, but the time for the mile and 16th in that one in the Grade 3 was slow, 146, which is not very fast at all for you want to see 3-year-olds peaking and putting up a little bit of faster times this time of year as we're a month away from the Derby. But yeah, I see McPeaks, It's Your Nickel might be on the lead with IRAP. I definitely see him being the pace setter in here. Which we look at the 7, Practical Joke for Chad Brown, which is a horse that definitely needs pace and tempo to set him up to win. He's the last 2, the Fountain of Youth, and he's coming off a layoff in that one, so you might be able to give him a break there where there's John Bear ended up winning that, which there was not a lot of pace that day. The The half was set in 47, and then after the 6 furlongs, 112, which not great pace. He was laying seventh, made up some ground, but Guinevere just blew by him to win that by 5. Kind of routed that field, and Practical Joke laid second. But it's going to be interesting to see if he can make up ground in here with not a lot of pace, which I think the forward Tappert and McCracken will be laying closer, and kind of I think the pace sets up more for them in here, which I absolutely love the 4 for Pletcher. This horse Pletcher just seems to find a way to get his horses peaking at the right time, and always dreaming last week in the Florida Derby, and this week I think you're going to get Tappert. I mean, I see him. He won by 4 on March 11th in the Tampa Bay Derby and didn't break a sweat. So I see him coming out here and getting a good trip, breaking from the 4 hole. So he should position himself in a good spot and getting the mount Jose Ortiz, which you can't go wrong with that. Him and Pletcher have hooked up for 25%, which is outstanding. And that's my pick in here. I'm going to go with the 4-horse Tappert to take down the 12 to Bluegrass. Maybe throw a 20 across on him. I think it's going to come down to him and McCracken coming down the stretch. I think they're going to duel it out. And I see Tappert kind of being the horse peaking at the right time. And I think he'll be too much for McCracken coming down the home stretch. And I think he'll roll away with this one and bring home the prize for Pletcher and get it done. So that's my pick for the 2017 Toyota Bluegrass Stakes, the number 4 Tappert. Thank y'all for watching this, and hope y'all enjoy this race, and good luck.